a link to our Go Collab group. You'll come in, you can ask questions, you can come on video with me. We'll do this there. You'll also be offered Safe, Secure, and Successful. This is a deep transformational program. You'll be offered a bundle of them, 6 of them for just $27 when you first join. I highly, highly recommend taking it. Don't have to, but that's where you're going to get the most benefit quickly without joining us deeper. All right, Sandy, welcome for being here. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. If you're here, please tap that screen and share this with another woman in your life or man that has survived SA or CSA, because it's going to bring them back. So day 1, we went into breath. Day 2, we married your head and your heart, so any of this can even work, okay? Day 3, I forget because I switched it up. I planned it all out and then I switched it up. It was so funny. Oh. I have a body. Right? And if you did the practice with me, you know how your body was programmed to think that it was the problem, and the effects of your body when it thinks that it's the problem is autoimmune disease. It starts fighting itself, right? It starts eating your own head. Your blood fights yourself, lowest common denominator, all of that happens. And then boom, you're trapped and my body isn't safe. I don't like my body. You think that way, you talk that way, your body reacts that way. And unfortunately, we're right. We're always right. Okay, so I have a body. I'm not my body. That was day 1. Then I have no choice. Okay, if you've ever been raped, and especially if you were abused, okay, and then especially if you were abused and then you just kept backing up this belief, you kept creating this belief, I have no choice, I don't know what I want, it's not safe for me to know what I want. It's not safe for me to ask for what I want. It's not safe for me to have any idea. So I'm going to marry somebody that's going to tell me what I want. I'm going to ask all of my friends what their opinion is. I'm going to go on the internet. I'm going to ask that. I'm just going to do what I'm told. I'm going to be a good little girl. I'm going to be a good little boy. I'm going to do all of this. Blah, 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 blah. Right? This reality, I have no choice. Whew, talk about disempowering. But I was there. If you were there, let me know in the comments. So that's day 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a review there. Let me know if you have any questions about those before I move on. But I am moving fast through this because the videos are on my page. So you can go to the videos on my page and you can go through them. You can go through the transformations I lead on this page. That's going to start loosening it up. If you want to go deeper with me, go into Unstoppable Confidence. Okay, absolutely free again. And then if you want to go even deeper with me, I'll definitely share with you how. But the next step that's super affordable would be getting the SSS bundle, Safe, Secure, and Successful, and going through those practices, because what that's going to do is start resetting your nervous system and getting your brain and your head to work together to understand that you are the master of your own ship. And when we are run, thanks, Kyle. When you are run, you are welcome. Thank you for being here and thank you for your support. When we run our own essence, okay, if you guys don't have an image, a picture, I am so sorry, but I block you because I've been stolen so many times. So that's just that. So you're gonna have this awareness. Okay, so then we had day 6. No, we had day 5, right? Day 5, I have no choice. Day 6, desire is dangerous, so you don't know what you want, or you can't have what you want. Because their desire blamed you, right? You can't want anything, it's not safe. Pleasure isn't safe. We demonize and weaponize pleasure. So you can't celebrate anything. Okay. And then day 8, today, the world isn't safe. Okay. So, that is that, right? Oh, I have it backwards? Thank you, love. Thank you so much. I can change that. I forget that this like automatically puts it on backwards. Okay. There you go. Can you see? Thank you so much for letting me know. Rija, not quite sure how to pronounce your name, but thank you so much. Perfect. Okay. So day 1, I taught you how to breathe. Day 2, I taught you how to reset your nervous system or reset your vagus nerve so your head and your body can work together as one unit. Day 3, okay? It's not safe to like me. It's not safe to be me. My body isn't safe. Choice isn't safe. Desire isn't safe. Pleasure isn't safe, right? And now the world isn't safe. This is just the program. Now, why do we have all these programs where other people that just went through one of these, they can kind of just go, oh, well, maybe the world is safe, or maybe I do have choice, or maybe this or maybe that. But here's the thing. When we have CSA or SA, what is distorted in our body is creation itself. Hey, Rocky. Hey, Rick. Welcome back. So is reality creation itself? Is creation itself, right? All right. So now we're going to go into the lesson. Today's going to be, just about 40 more minutes. Then I have clients. So we're going to be doing this. Okay. So we reviewed the lessons. We're going to be deleting these lessons. And then if you want to start deleting them right now and really reclaiming the throne seat in your own vessel, in your own temple, in your own castle, get safe, secure, and successful. Those transformations have saved lives, gotten people out of homelessness, created massive healings, done magical stuff. And you might have experienced them if you've ever been fortunate enough to be on an SSS event that I just host and throw here sometimes. But those are, where was I? I was here when you were homeless. But you know what? If you want to lean into this, like come and get SSS right now, and let's really create a safe space in your home so it's not a battlefield anymore. Okay. So, Sawyer, I'm talking about the effects of CSA on our systems and all of that. Connie, you've watched 300 minutes of me. You rock. Thank you. Okay. So let's dive in here. So we're specifically talking about the effects of this. Okay. So first, who here agrees that you are born? Okay. That you were born. And when you were born, you were given a body. I'm going to go deep here, right? I'm going to go deep here. So don't call me baby. We don't do that here. And you don't have a real picture, so you were gone. Oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. Hey, Anna. All right, so when you were born, you were given a body, okay? And your body, we're going to now call the body the vessel, okay? And the vessel has a physical form, a mental, It's my dyslexia. Sometimes it just like gets me, even though it's like what I do and I spell it all the time. That's not mental. Fuck it. You have a mind. I know I can spell that right. Okay. You have emotions. And you have a vibrational field. Etheric field, whatever you want to call it. You have a sensory field around you, right? Hello, Anna, welcome, right? So when you were born, you were given this. Can we agree there? Give me a thumbs up or give me a hell yes. You have these things. You have these capabilities. Now, they are all unique. They all have unique programming. We all look different. We have different thoughts, different beliefs. But your beliefs and your ability to feel and these two things, as well as your genetics, were all given to you, right? They were all given to you. And so the mind and the emotions are formed by experiences usually, okay? These two are formed by genetics, okay? They're impacted by genetics. And your vibe, right? Your vibe is formed with how much authority you take in your life or who you give authority to, that it all kind of works together. Okay. And as you grow, you get more and more and more power over your own reign, unless you give it all away. Okay. Unless you give it all away. So the first 7 to 10 years, or 7 to 14 years, 7 to 14 years, you're in programming mode. 0 to 7. Okay. You're in, we'll call it code. This is your code. This is your program, right? And then after 14 to 28, I know this is backward, 14 to 28, you're rendering. Okay, processing, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to equate our bodies, our vessels, to this. Now, here's the thing. Most people, when they're born into the world, they're like, I am my body because mom and dad told me I'm my body. Well, actually, a baby at first is, well, I am my mom. Right? I am my mom. What's the difference between me and my mom? Nothing. I am my mom. Right? So if your mom was going through stress, if your mom had gone through PTSD, if your mom had gone through any of that, like that programming is going to be part of your genetics. Okay? Part of that. But here's the thing. Okay? If we're a program, what we truly are is when you were born, your body, what was given to your body? Your soul. Your soul was given a body to express through. What is your soul? Your soul is a fragment of God, according to everybody. Source. Okay? So source gave an individualized soul a body to express from. Can everybody kind of see this loop? This is just, 5-10 minutes of me explaining creation. But we got to move on here for me to get into the next piece. All right. So you were born, the consciousness that is you, we'll call a soul, was given a body. That body then woke up, and within the body, which we'll call a vessel, you have physical form, mental form, emotional form, and a vibe. This body, which is like your supercomputer, 0 to 7, you are being coded, right? Like, here's your genes. This is how our family believes. This is the religion. This is who you are. So if you're treated like you're really, really important in the light of the world, right? You learn, oh, I'm really, really important. I'm the light of the world. If you were treated like you were a nuisance and a burden, you learn, oh, well, I'm a nuisance and I'm a burden, right? We start to identify 0 to 7. But is it our choice at that point? No, it's not. It's not our choice. It was just downloaded into us. And many times it's downloaded into us from people that were also downloaded into, right? And this is why the genetics of 7 generations back, biblically, okay? We hold the wounds of our fathers and forefathers for 7 generations at least before it transfers, right? Just like the soil is supposed to rest, just because like we're supposed to rest. This number of 7, right? 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Now, I'm definitely not with you. I'm actually super against you, but I'll explain to you why you might think that way and why you were programmed that way and why your life might be sucking because of that belief system and why it makes sense that you believe that and how you see all the evidence of that in 21 days if you choose to join me on this journey. Okay? So let's go back here. Okay? Let's go back here. Now, with this as our truth, this is our basic knowledge, right? How are babies made? I don't know how to say it on here, right? But there's an action, right? There's an action that takes place that creates a baby that gives you, the new baby, a body. And this act is the ultimate act of creation. This act anchors, brings soul to the physical form. AKA manifestation. Now, as souls with a body, then we're creator beings, right? Because we can do this act of creation and it will be evidence for us that we're creator beings. We can create life, right? We can also create from ideas. We can create from inspiration. We can create the desires of our heart, right? We can manifest in spirit. We can manifest spirits into bodies, into physical form. We can manifest ideas in a physical form. This is the whole idea of reality creation, manifestation, reap what you sow. The word became the light, became the word became the light, right? Became manifest in physical form. Like this is the whole thing. Made in the image of God, right? Jesus did his miracles, other people did their miracles. Is this making sense? So this act, this one act where we can see the birds and the bees create more things, more flowers, more things in physical form, right? This action, can we all agree that this action, whether it's from grape or positive or negative or anything, that this action creates the most evidence of bringing the inspired, the in spirit into physical form? You all following? Yeah. So what's one act, right? And the powers that are controlling this, I would love to know if they're circumcised. But the powers that control this, and they probably are because they're living in the distortion. So if they weren't, they wouldn't have that immediate displeasure and demonization of it. The powers that be demonize this act, make us feel shame about it, right? My lemon water. Okay, so we're all on the same page there. Can I move on? I want to get through this. Whew. Got a lot of energy moving in me, so let's take a breath. Exhale. So the fastest way to control and take away someone's complete power of creation is to distort and manipulate their relationship with sex. I'm going to say that again. Inhale and exhale. And they do this many, many, many ways. Many ways. But CSA and SA are some of the fastest ways, and to get other people to do it through their distortion, keeping the loop where we are not in our power to create. We don't know our full power. And the program itself is disconnected, is disbobulated, is disassociated, right? So they gave me a, if anybody's on here that is willing, I need one person to give me a rose. So TT is happy, and you get points for it too. Thank you, Connie. So there's many ways that we distort this, right? But for this one act, whether it's one time or many times over, we had this distortion. So day one, I taught you how to breathe, because what's the first thing that a baby does? The first thing that a baby does when they're born that inspirits them is they have to breathe. When we go into trauma, when we go into shock, we hold our breath. We go on lockdown. Yeah, my babies didn't cry because they weren't born in a thing. So they can coo or cry. But sound is next. Sound is next. Most babies, if born without raging lights and a whole bunch of drama and trauma and a loving environment or in the thing, like neither of my babies cried. Because I had them at home with candles around, with the midwife and water. So both of them just got up, opened up their eyes and went and started cooing and nursing, right? So that in itself is like, welcome to the world, right? Was born at home, right, Mela? Yeah, so there's a difference. So they've even distorted that. And the people that are doing it, the doctors and stuff, they don't know it, right? I didn't know this stuff until I just kept studying everything that I've studied and living through everything I'm living through. And still, right, I'm looking at this distortion, how it makes sense. And I'm going, oh, that's how I get through it faster. That's how I get through it faster. That's how I get through it faster. Ashley, please, 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 I beg of you, join us on Saturdays if you're at all possible. I'm just speaking to you directly. What we're going through in the coaching certification now from when you went through it is I'm just brilliant. Okay. Panise, please make a comment. I see that you have an H. I usually I'll give you 2 seconds and then I'm going to block you for pictures, or you can comment on why you're here and where you're from. So hi is great. Let me know where you're from and just interact, because you have an H there and you just said, hi, I know that you're not a bot, but I do delete people or things that look like bots. Okay, so you're born, spirit comes in, you were given breath. So day 1, we brought you back into the breath, right? Then we're gonna do the vagus nerve. We're starting to work with your nervous system, okay? This connects everything. So let's talk a bit about this nervous system that you are connecting with. How much time do I have? I have 30 minutes. Okay, a little less than 30 minutes. So let's just pretend. Hello from Morocco, beautiful. Washington State, Mala, welcome. Okay, thank you, hon, thank you. Okay, so that said, here's you. You are a baby. You have a nervous system, okay? You have a nervous system. When you're a baby, before it shuts down, right, and kind of closes off, where then you start having this human experience, right? The memories fade. You have a soft palate. Does everybody know a baby's soft palate? Or some people call it a soft spot, okay, in your head. That soft spot is your link to God. It is there, in my belief, for your soul to anchor in its vessel. Okay? And it stays open for a bit. Yeah, it's at noon here, so it'd be at, let's see, I forget if, it's noon here, so it'd be at 9 a.m. your time. But everybody in there right now in the You Matter Club are all coaches in their trainings to a certain degree at this moment, which is really funny because you're all training to work with us. And then but we're going to be diving deep. Okay. Now, this spot, soft spot. So at first, you're anchoring in, right? And then you have a pineal gland. Does everybody know your pineal gland? Your pineal gland, the world calcifies through fluoride and trauma and other things. But that's it. I didn't see your question, but I might be able to answer it. I didn't see your question. You're going to have to re-answer it. Acupoints, if that was your question. Yeah, acupressure helps. Things help like that, yeah. Okay, so you have a pineal gland. Your pineal gland, as you keep this open, okay, is your direct line to inspiration. So this is what you're inspired to do. Whatever. So this is what you're inspired to do, inspiration and messages from God, all knowing, all this stuff. We all have this light. It's like a little light. It connects with your reptilian brain, with your human form, right? Which is in your throat, near your throat. And that throat connection is your voice. Okay, is your voice, your thyroid, your parathyroid, that inter-teaching, okay? This then connects into your heart. Your heart is the teeter-totter. If you get my book, The Amazing You Method, which is coming out very soon in book form, for the last 15, 16 years, it's just been on digital form, and only my private clients got it. Or my coaches that are in training to be Amazing You coaches got it, but now it's going to be out in field. So this is like the teeter-totter, okay? So this is your connection. Okay, so remember, what was the first thing that we did? Okay, we came out with the body, we took a breath, and then we cooed or cried, right? So the voice is that connection to your spirit to God, to source. Sometimes I'm at a God level, but my mind makes me think I can't do more while my body still can give me. Yeah. So you're going to love this, and you're going to love the 21 steps, because hopefully it will make sense. And especially if you join my free group and you get SSS, this can begin to unravel, and it can unravel really, really, really quickly to put you back in that throne room of yourself and of your body. But depending on if you can relate to SA and CSA, there's lots of reasons why it's not possible for you to create a life that you want and like really go there, where you're coming out of your body to do that. You're not anchoring heaven to earth. Okay, so next we have our digestion. Okay, and this digestion is, who am I? And this is you starting to anchor yourself into the world. Then we have our creative incubator. Okay, and this is connected to your family and those 7 generations of human experiences that we carry with us. And then we have our security and our agreement to be in our earth vessels. Okay? And through the spinal column, that's why I made the spine really long. Through the spinal column, you have nerve bundles. Okay? Each one of these, besides the pineal gland and the soft palate, each one of these has a nerve bundle directly behind it that interacts with your organs directly in front of it that interplay. Now, the biggest vessel from head to toe is what we reset in day 2. That's the vagus nerve. Okay? The vagus nerve goes from your head, behind your eyes, down your body, into your toes. Right? Super important. Okay, so now let's talk about Zex. If you were CSA'd or SA'd, it doesn't really matter when it happened in your life, but if you're like me and it was like 18 months old, 4 years old, 9 years old, which are like the super unfortunate, popular, not 18 months old, but there's more coming out that style of abuse is disgusting. And I breathe through it. Okay, but if this distortion happened there, okay, so if somebody else, thanks you guys for playing with TT and me, if somebody else could give me one more, specifically the rose, then we will meet this flash goal. Mala, thank you so much. Is it normal to have to recall your childhood? No, but that is the way that they've taught us, because that's the only thing that okay. So science has to move with velocity, that has to move with reality creation, quantum physics, and science, right? And the fact that we have souls. So in soul psychology, which literally I trademarked, I've been doing this for years. I've been studying the whole thing because I knew that it all had to work together. But when I learned to be a therapist, they just teach us how to recall. The problem with that is the body nervous system doesn't know the difference between what you're thinking and remembering and what's happening in the present moment. That's why elite athletes can run over what what they have in their mind 100 times, and then go out and beat the person that hasn't actually done the mental work. So when society teaches us that you have to go in and you have to recall everything and you have to focus on the problem and you are fucking broken, like, does it come up? Yes, you can't deny it. You cannot deny it, right? But I don't want an invitation sent to this person. I wanted to block them. You can't deny it. That's the other piece, right? So we're trained that it's not safe, and we're going to go into that. It's not safe. Well, we went into it, right? In days 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I went into those old programs, the ones specifically related to completely destroy your life and keep you in that loop. So you're paying for the insurance companies. You're paying to fix yourself. You're paying not to live your life. You're not sitting in your creator throne. And it just keeps you stuck on the hamster wheel, right? Keeps you that little worker bee. Boom, 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 boom. And that's where most of us are living. Not all abuse lands the same way, and not when you are abused at different times, but when you were abused as a child, this becomes your programming, unconscious programming. When you're abused as a teen, it becomes your subconscious programming. When you're abused as an adult, it becomes an event that happened that you get to reclaim your power from, but it doesn't become a downloadable distortion. This is why protecting our children is so safe. And this is why learning how the mechanisms of your program, your computer system, is the only way, in my opinion, the only way to heal from CSA. And nobody's talking about it. Why does it keep giving, I mean, it's one heart. So, I need one more person. It keeps giving me this darn goal, but it's just one heart, but it can't be the people that just did it. And when you do give your heart, because it's a goal, make sure that you go up here and you get your things. Connie, I don't know if, oh, it said thanks. Awesome. Awesome, Connie. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So if you do direct message me, give me your email, because you're going to be in my system to get free entry into Unstoppable Confidence, right? So how do we heal it? So I'm doing the healing in the 21 days to whole. So make sure to follow my page. There's a playlist on there. And we're going through the healing. Okay. But today I'm just going to explain the distortion. Okay. So I just explained the levels of distortion that works through when we go through CSA and SA, but let me explain why SA is so friggin' powerful. I have 10 minutes to do this, you guys, and then I have to hop off. I will come back on. This has been a lot of fun. Just because it's truth, and I want everybody to heal. And there's multi-millions of us survivors of CSA and SA that have no fucking clue, that are dealing with their minds, trying to do somatic work and feel all the feelings and wondering, why the fuck is it taking me so long to heal? And why can't I create the life of my reality? And we're diving into manifestation, and all of the shit that we don't want keeps coming up stronger. Is this sounding familiar? And it's just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's not about looking back, because user 687, where are you from? And where are you from first? Because I will block you if you're not from anything, or if you're disruptive without a picture and a name. That said, to your comment, sure, you guys, you know what? You know how many people are walking around saying, well, it didn't happen. They walk free. There's nothing I can do about it, so fuck it. You know what? Their body is fighting them, and they have autoimmune diseases. Their mind is fighting them, because it's not safe for them to think. It's not safe for them to have choice, right? Let's go through 1 through 8. And so their reality says, I have no choice. They're miserable in their jobs. They don't know what they want. They're unhappy. Pleasure is unsafe. Pleasure equals pain. So if they get happy, if they get pleasure, if they get something they want, they have to immediately create something that they don't want because their creator distortion is happening. So if this is following, then track it. Okay, so here's what happens. Where do we get abused? Okay, they attack 2 spaces. That act, when not happy, affects these 2 nervous system bundles. That says security isn't safe. Creation is distorted. Okay, then we start creating from this belief, and the act of creation becomes dangerous, which affects everything else. The other place that it's affected is right here. Okay, we all know when abuse happens this way, and our voice, sound is muted, distorted, fucked up, okay? And what happens when your voice and your sound is fucked up? Okay, so what happens first, okay? So we're out in the ethers. We're like little spirits, right? Our parents do the act of creation, right? And we incubate a body, right? And then our souls come into the body and we are born into flesh, right? And the flesh comes out and then we're given breath. And then we make a noise. Ooh, or wah, right? Either of those is voice. Read Genesis. The power of the voice. Sex, abuse, distorts that. At the very least, distorts it if it doesn't reconnect it or disconnect it completely. So it's my job as a practitioner to help you reconnect these things. But it is almost impossible to do that if you don't first know that the systems download, okay? That this is a system. You are not a body, you have a body. You are not your thoughts in your brain, you have them. You are not your emotions, you have them, right? This is where safe, secure, and successful makes sense. You are not the etheric field that this creates, the magnetism, right? So if you're trying to do law of attraction work and you're like, but everything inside of your attraction system is saying, but it's not safe, right? The world isn't a safe place to live in. I know that because I've had all these experiences and look at the news, right? Desire equals pain, and I know that because look how much pain their desire caused me. Yep, I know that. I know that. You know what? It's not up to me. I have no choice. I have no choice. I have to do what I'm told, right? So let me ask their permission to create anything or to have an opinion because that's not safe, right? And the desires of my heart, if I ask for what I want, if I ask for what I desire, if I even know what I desire, like that's not safe. It's not safe, right? And I learned all that through CSA and SA, and I have proof of that because of this distortion, because unfortunately, what never fucking stops, my loves, what never stops is this fact. Okay, are you guys ready? This is tomorrow's. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into tomorrow, day 9. Here's what doesn't stop. Here's what can never be taken away from you. Has anybody ever? Yeah, so it was bad. Mala, I have to say, I was Byzantine. Okay, my love? Like, if you know Orthodox Christianity, you know Byzantine. Okay, and I believe in the Eucharist, and I believe in Jesus, and I believe in all of that. But my Heavenly Father has taught me something very, very different. And I also know that if my grandfather wasn't abused by his priest, then maybe we wouldn't have been abused. Who knows? We will never know. But I know that those kids were abused by the priests. And I know that the kings rewrote that to take out women. And I know my biblical history. I didn't let the church keep teaching me it and indoctrinating me in it. I began questioning it myself. I began studying ancient text myself. I began studying the Hamadi and Gnostic Bibles and the things that were taken out of that religion and that faith. And I also, was like, okay, like if I'm wrong, God, tell me, teach me. I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to be taught. And some things I've learned the hard way and some things I've learned the right way, but there's lots of distortions around Zex, right? Because there's no easier way to control people, whether they want you to buy a cleaning product, whether they want you to smoke cigarettes, whether they want you to take a shot, than through Zex. It's a bazillion-dollar business for a reason. Okay, where was I? Here's the thing. Did you ever learn, speaking of religion, have you ever learned that you are a child of God and you will never be separated from him? Have you ever learned that you were made in the image of? Tomorrow, you were brought down. You are a soul. And you were brought down to this planet to create. You were given dominion over the animals, the plants, and placed above the angels. Or alongside them, depending on where you go. Or alongside them, depending on where you go. What if we weren't kicked out of the garden? What if the garden was kicked out of us? Curious, Mala. Curious, okay? So, you are here to create. And it can't be taken away from you. Doesn't matter what organs you have or what, if you can or can't, right? Yes, the kingdom of heaven is within, right? You were born to create. You create in the image of God, not man. So you create from your soul. Your body of the earth lives in distortion. And the game of life I guess I'll be living proof, right? The game of life is to see the distortion, reprogram the coding, and create heaven on earth. Your heaven on earth, not anybody else's. Okay? Why? Because you are a fragment of the whole. We're all fragments of the whole. We're all part of the same energy. Separated At Babel. Separated at Babel. Whew. All right. So if this is true and you believe days 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that's the program, the coding that you are living from, okay? That's the coding that you are living from. Unfortunately, we are always right. Because we're creator beings. It's not your fault that you were programmed that way. It's not your fault that the energy that's within you, your chakras, your nervous system was disharmonized and distorted and dishonored. It's not your fault that the world is put together by people that know this, okay, that know this and use it against me. No, days 3 through 8 really today. If you go onto my page, you'll see 21 days to whole. I'm helping you rebuild your system. So share this with any sexual abuse survivors that you have, know, and are around, because I'm sharing with you how this works and how to reclaim this, not by remembering anything, not by hating yourself, not by fixing yourself, not by distorting, but seeing specifically the programs and how much it made sense and how it's keeping you unconsciously safe and how it's working with the world to keep you being a little worker bee, right? And a slave instead of a creator being in their power, playing the game of life and creating what you want so you can step back into your power and get on with it, right? And stop looking at what happened or your symptomology alone, right? We get to own our symptomology. There's some periods of time where you're deleting, and that's why I have the support group, the You Matter Club, right? But we're there. Okay, you guys, I have a client in 2 minutes. I want to thank you for being here. If you want to go deeper into this and keep asking questions, I'm probably just going to redo this today so it can, because it's fun. I might post both in the You Matter Club. It's absolutely free. It's called Soul Expression, UC. And just click up there and join. If you're already on my newsletter list, like Connie, you're already on it, I believe. You can go in to your own university, reset your password, and like get into that community. And I thank you so much for being here. And today was a lot of fun. Be blessed, be whole. I'm going to show you how to delete these old, fragmented, distorted programs and reclaim your power. And that is my mission in life. Bye, Connie. Bye, everybody.